Hi there, savewith.crypto here. Okay, so I'm recording this on my new, well, not new, but newish MacBook. This is a MacBook Air 2022. It's an M2 model, and I bought it for 415 quid from Facebook Marketplace. So I'm quite chuffed about it, and it is a little bit better than my old M1 one, although the SSD is only 256 gig rather than 512. But with the faster processor, I'm interested to see if there's any difference in quality of the video or maybe the sound. I have been using a mic plugged into my older one for the last few weeks, so the sound compared to like this week might not be quite as good, but if you compare it with like a week or so ago, I'd love to know if you can tell any difference. So if you can, please do let me know. Anyway, so yesterday, what happened? Well, this happened.
I'm not friends with Elon anymore. All he wants to do is play with his silly electric cars. And that is so boring.
Well, I'm not going to be friends with Donald either. And I'm not letting him play with my spaceship. In fact, nobody is playing with my spaceship now. So how do you like that then? Ha!
And of course, whenever you see the market crash like it did because of this, look for opportunities. You know, I bought a load of Tesla shares at $274, and now it's back at 300. So that was a pretty good move. Now, trading wise, I managed to do a few scalps, but I didn't get any shorts on the way down. That would have been amazing, but unfortunately, I kind of missed the drop actually. But there's things like this 9% here on BitGet, things like this tiny one here on ByBit. Actually, this one here was a bit better. So at the moment, I'm not particularly in any good trades, but I am looking to take one fairly soon, and I'll show you what I'm looking for in a moment. Now, last night I did put out a YouTube short, and like an idiot, I forgot to set it to public. I left it on private so nobody could see it. I did eventually change it, but it was probably too late by then. But what I was looking at was this low here. That was on Tuesday the 6th of May. Okay, so about a month ago. And the all-time high, which was last Thursday, wasn't it? That was 112,000 pretty much. So I was drawing a Fibonacci, a fib retracement from that low there to that high there. Okay. And what I was looking at last night, I was saying that when we get to the 618, we might bounce. Now, I did think there was a possibility of coming down to the 786, which would have been quite scary because that would have been 97,343. But we didn't. We bounced on the 618. Now, Bitcoin does like to bounce on the 618, so I was quite delighted to see that happen. Now, what I did say is that if that happened, we'd probably come up to this 382 here and then maybe stall for a little while, and that is indeed what seems to be happening right now. So what I'm looking for here is maybe if we go up a little bit, we might just carry on going up, but it's more likely that we'll go up a little bit, come back, maybe retest that and then go up. So I am looking for a long around this area. Now that seems crazy because the all-time high is literally just up there, just a few percent up there. So that probably isn't the safest thing to do. The safest thing to do would probably be to look for shorts up here somewhere. So why am I looking for longs? Okay, the reason being is if you put on my favourite moving averages, okay, this is on the 1 hour time frame. If you want to see how I set these up, look at the video that's linked at the end of this video, and you'll see how to set up this red, cyan, yellow and green lines, which are a 5, 9, 21 and 55 EMA. Okay, and what I'm looking for generally for a really bullish sign is the yellow and green crossing over like that. If I show you a more spectacular one, it's something like that one there. You know, when we're at 103 and then we went right up to the all-time high after that. So you can see it towards the end of May, it was looking quite bearish, and then we did get one of these bullish crosses of the EMAs here. That was on the 3rd of June. But on Wednesday afternoon, they turned bearish and we came down. What needs to happen here is that yellow needs to cross the green. Now I reckon that will probably happen at about 7 p.m. UK time tonight, maybe even sooner. But these EMAs are starting to get in the right order. What you want is the red at the top, followed by the cyan, so that's the 5 and the 9, and then you just need the yellow and then the green. So when they're in that order, that is a trend in motion to the upside. You see, like when it's like this is a trend in motion to the downside. So they go red, cyan, yellow, green, but in the opposite order. So that looks likely to cross bullish. Now if it doesn't, and sometimes this happens where you'll see the 21 do something like that, and then you'll see the 55 go up and do something like that. If that happens, then the price does come down a lot, right? But if we see them cross, it's all good. Now the other favourite indicator I like to use is this quad rotation stochastic. This is another free indicator. And on the hourly time frame, you see it put this green background here down at the bottom last night. Now that was a very bullish sign, so that kind of implies the price is going to go up. If we see a red one of those, then I will start to get worried. And that looks something like this red one here, which obviously signified the end of that peak there. That was on the 3rd of June. So I'll be looking at this to get an idea that the price is going to go upwards. So that's all going to happen in the next hour or two. Now then, I do feel like this is actually going to happen, and ideally I should have got into the trade a lot earlier today, but I was doing things and it just never happened. So I'm going to use this account here. This is my BitUnix account, and this has got about 919 USDT in there. So I think what I'm going to do is just set an order, I don't know, just slightly below where we are now, for a portion of what I've got in there, and then see what happens. If those EMAs don't cross favourably, I'll just close it. If they do cross favourably, I might add to the position. So I'm just going to set an order round about here, 104.869. So let's do that, 104.869. I'm going to use about about a third of what I've got in the account. I am actually on 20x leverage, which is a little bit careless. That is a bit too high, really. So if you don't know what you're doing, just use something like 3 or 4x. So let's open that and see what happens. Oops, that filled straight away. I didn't mean that to happen. Okay, I probably could have got a better price there, but you can see here that the margin I'm using there is about $317. But because I'm using 20x leverage, it's as if I was trading with $6,200. Now, the cool thing about BitUnix is a lot of people ask me what exchange they can use in certain countries. And the thing is with BitUnix, you can use that in any country apart from China, Iran and North Korea. And in any other country, you don't need to use a VPN. And you don't have to tell them who you are. You can just sign up with an email and a password, which is ideal if you don't want to give too many of your personal details away. And to be honest, nobody does, do they? So if you want to do that as well, go to savewith.crypto.org/BitUnix. Like any of my exchange links, what I will do once I've got 100 active users using my link, I will give away $1,000 to a random person from that first 100. So that's a pretty good reason to use my link, savewithcrypto.org/BitUnix. Now the reason that banner said don't do this earlier on is because I didn't think that was a particularly good price to get in at, but I just wanted to show you the exchange working. Now the price did come down a little bit since then, and we still haven't got this cross here. Now what I would be doing at this point is I'd be going to something like the 1 minute time frame and looking at this quad rotation stochastic indicator down here. And you can see now that we've started to get all these stochastics going down right down the bottom there, and we've also getting this green background appearing. Now this is obviously a much better place for a long position. And then what I would do, I'd also compare that with the 3 minute. And you can see the 3 minute has also got this green background there as well. And I do find it quite useful to actually change the layout of TradingView and have, like, say, two side by side, so you can have the 1 minute there and the 3 minute there, and you can easily compare them side by side. I would also look at the 12 minute as well, and the 12 minute is not brilliant, so it's a risky entry, but ideally you'd wait until these come down here. But I think for the moment that's what I'm going to do, because I am expecting that crossover on the 1 hour of those EMAs, the 21 and 55, sometime this evening. Anyway, for the sake of getting this video done, I'll leave it there. Do trade on BitUnix if you want to give yourself a chance of winning $1,000. And with BitUnix, there are other offers as well that you'll see when you sign up, where you can get free money for doing simple tasks like making a deposit. So once again, it's savewithcrypto.org/BitUnix. Okay, I'll leave it there because I want to get this video out before those EMAs cross. I will let you know what happens anyway in the Telegram group, or maybe with a YouTube short. The best way to know about this stuff is to look at the links down in the description of this video, or just go to savewithcrypto.org and you'll see all the links you need on the home page of that website. But can you do me a favour? Can you give this video a big fat like? And also, while you're down there, leave a nice comment, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you got the notifications set on all, and above all, tell your friends.
Save with Crypto has to be one of the best YouTube channels that the United States has ever seen. Kamala Harris is not a subscriber, but I am. I have notifications set to all as well. I'd strongly suggest you subscribe to Save with Crypto today. Above all, you should tell your friends.
Save with Crypto is not a financial advisor. He just makes ice cream on the internet. If you cannot find someone to do your own research, you must do it yourself, just like I did not.